So, you guys have all picked a side, obviously. You guys have all explained to your partner a piece of evidence, right? Yes? Okay, so, document A people. Why do you guys think document A is more believable? Michael, why is document A more believable? Because all naval officers agree that it was on purpose, done by who? Purposely done by who? By Spain. That the USS Maine was blown up by Spain. It says right there. Naval officers all agree, right? It's a pretty powerful statement. I feel like that's very believable. But you guys are on the other side of the aisle here. Think document B is more believable. Mr. Reeves, why?
Document A is just opinions.
Just opinions?
Yeah.
So what facts is document B presenting? What facts is document B presenting then?
Well, document B has a captain that actually knows, like, has knowledge on warships.
But it was just one guy. Over here we have all naval officers agreeing.
Gassing fires inside.
What's that?
Gassing fires inside like the ship.
All of
Fires
them
inside the ship,
agree.
causing the ammunition to explode? That's believable too. Okay.
Some mind.
But document A even has Teddy Roosevelt, Secretary of the Navy, right? He goes on to be the President of the United States. I think he's an authority over the one guy that you guys are using for your opinion.
Who do you guys have? We have Teddy.
What about the dates of these two documents? They're the same, okay? Very good. The dates are the same. How long after the explosion did it? 2 days. All right, everyone with me. 2 days after 9/11, did we know who did it?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
We didn't. We were still picking up the pieces, taking people out of rubble and whatnot. So it's hard to tell what happened, especially back then with communication, after 2 days, right? So why is document A not believable? You guys are they're both constructed at the same time frame, right? Document A, they're sending out, what are they doing? Esperanza, what is document A doing? They're offering a reward for who?
For someone like exclusive evidence.
To give exclusive evidence. So they're trying to find out what's going on. They're offering rewards for it. What are they doing in document B? They trying to get people to get evidence to investigate? Rodrigo, what do you think? Document A, they're paying people to get evidence for who blew up the Maine, right? What's document B doing? Are they being proactive in trying to find out what's going on? No, they are just playing the waiting game, right? Wait and see. Well, it's the fault of somebody. It has to be. Carlos, document A. What did they say? How did they blow up the Maine? What was their reasoning? What was that? With a mine, all right? That was connected to the ship. When did it explode? When the anchor dropped? What time of day was it? It was at night. They were all sleeping, right, Evan? Well, I mean, come on. If they're all sleeping and the ship blows up at night, it's got to be done on purpose, right? It has to be. So you want to switch sides? Oh, okay. If you guys want to switch sides, change your opinions, feel free.
I got this.
Yeah, let him talk.
I'll make people switch sides.
David, you have the floor.
All right. All right. So the reason why I believe document A is more believable and not due to accountability is because it plays on emotion. It's actually yellow journalism, and during this time, they were both released on the same day, and both sides, the New York Journal and the New York Times, don't know what's going on. So for Americans or most people, they tend to go towards the first answer, and so document A actually says that the Spaniards did it, and back then everyone was like hella racist. Like even now today we're not as racist as back then, but like say for example, what's it called? 9/11. There was a conspiracy theory that it was actually like an inside job. So like first people was like, oh, you know what, planes flew into the tower, people threw in Al-Qaeda into the mix, and all, oh, you know what, it's ISIS's fault. Even though there's evidence that it was like an inside job and stuff, but I don't believe in that. But it shows how most people rely on race, and so since document A threw in race, people tend to kind of falter towards that side. And also, it actually, it's kind of using manipulatives or like kind of divert you to kind of like get your attention. It's playing on psychology. So in this document A paragraph, it says that it is the opinion of several Native American authorities and the secret opinion of many people. So it's kind of leading you to that side to believe that a lot of people actually believe in that. And so what people tend to do, as it was actually shown in a couple of researches, that people actually tend to follow the crowd. And so if you read that and you're like, oh, you know what, people believe in that, so it actually sounds more legit. And so, and then they already have an answer. They think that the what's called the Spanish blew it up. You have Native Americans believing that, like naval authorities believing in that. You have race into the mix. You add an award. You see that a lot of people are believing in that. And they think they have an answer. They have actual general proof. And so that people tend to believe that instead of document B, where it's sort of like, oh, you know what? We're waiting for We're waiting for results. We're investigating. We don't know what's really going on. We can't say anything. Would you believe that? Or would you kind of listen to document A when it's involving race and it's involving stuff? And like, think about it. Back then it was like hella racist. So that I'm thinking they're more towards that side because people like feed on emotions. So it's kind of like my side of it.
So if people feed on emotions, does it benefit that paper to make that headline up?
Yeah, it actually
Because they're going to sell more articles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there some responsibility that the media should have in what they say? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So what evidence, other than, you talk about the psychology and everything, but after 9/11 we didn't know what happened yet. Is document B maybe being a little more responsible? Would you say that?
Yeah, I would say it's more responsible and it's more based on accountability.
Accountability?
Towards believability and where people will actually listen to. I don't think people are actually gonna listen to document B.
Okay. Because it's sensational, right?
Mm-hmm.
Document A is sensational. Yellow journalism. The hook, right? It hooks you in. Okay. What about the people that they mentioned in document B? It talks about Captain Sigsbee has not reported on the Navy Department. Captain Sigsbee actually said we need to wait till we find everything out before I send a report up to Washington, D.C. We need to wait. Because if we say that the Spanish were responsible, and they weren't, then we're going to start a war for no reason, right? So, is document A being responsible?
Nope.
No, they're not, okay? So what we actually have happen is we have multiple investigations that go into looking into what happened with the Maine, okay? First two investigations point to the Spanish did do it, right? So we invade Cuba 2 months later down the road. An investigation even further down the road points to that it was an accident, that the magazine exploded because the coal caught on fire, spontaneously combusted. It was an accident. But at that point, it was too late. We had already invaded Cuba. One little conspiracy theory I want to throw out and get you guys to think a little bit. Who gains the most by the U.S. entering the war, Spanish-American War?
Big business owners.
Big business owners?
And the navies, military.
What about the Cubans? Do the rebels benefit by the people who are trying to fight for their freedom? Do they benefit by the Americans coming in?
Yes.
Because they want freedom, they want Spain out of there, so now the United States is fighting Spain, right? Could have the rebels done it? What does document B say about that? What does it say at the bottom of document B?
They said that they didn't have they said that Spanish or the Cubans didn't have the necessary equipment or info.
That the Spanish or the Cubans didn't have the necessary equipment or info. Why would Spain want to go to war with the United States? The United States had one of the most powerful navies at this point already. Spain did not have a great navy. They had a lot of, some significant problems going home trying to hang on to their territories. They were all revolting. Philippines, Cuba, Puerto Rico was very unhappy. Okay? But the point of this was to get you guys to look at evidence, whether varying on truthfulness and trustworthiness, and be able to form your own opinion, right? So that's what we're going to be doing in today's quiz, for the number 1. You're going to put down which you think is more, which document you thought was more believable, and why, using evidence from that document. Okay? You can even use the other document as for your argument. This is wrong. Document B says this, it's wrong because of this, this, this. Document A is right because of this, this, this. So that's part of the quiz. The other part of the quiz is we're going to be looking at the political cartoons that we did earlier in the week. You guys are going to argue for 3 positives of imperialism and 3 negatives of imperialism. Whether you are imperialist or anti-imperialist or not, that's not the point. The point is that you're given evidence and you have to argue for the point of view. Okay? So with that, I'm going to end our little debate. Go ahead and get back to your seats and get out a piece of paper, pretty please. And we're going to get this show on the road.